with the headlines in the company over the past week dominated by the public dispute between Austin and creative following his Buy This interview. Raw, which was set to be headlined by the first ever Austin vs. Flair match, saw its second top match of the night placed an hour earlier at 10 p.m. with Eddie Guerrero and Brock Lesnar against Van Dam and Bubba Dudley opening the second hour, for the second straight week seeing all four performers being placed in a main time slot, with the company's attempt to elevate them into TV drawing players getting a good sign of approval on the night, with the tag match going 9 minutes, peaking the show already at the top of the hour quarter, drawing a 4.7 rating with over 6.1 million viewers. With the talk of the business still being the Katie Vick funeral home skit airing days earlier, a special Halloween special saw SmackDown continuing the build-up to the first Big Show vs. Lesnar match, with Show after benefiting from the latest Hogan-McMahon dispute to replace Hogan in the originally planned Lesnar title match, seeing his sudden elevation back to the main event showing strong results, with the Show-Lesnar confrontation at the end of the first hour peaking at the 9:45 p.m. quarter with a 3.6 rating and over 6.2 million viewers to make it 2 straight weeks of an unusual viewing pattern, with SmackDown driven by the Lesnar vs. Show build-up peaking already midway through the night, with Brock also headlining the show in the first ever match against Rey Mysterio, going 4 minutes before Big Show's interference to hold steady in the final quarter with 5.8 million viewers. An hour after the shocking Eric Bischoff debut spiked numbers with Raw's biggest quarter-to-quarter viewership gain of the year, the main event on the night after a show-long build teasing tension with both looking to turn on each other, promoted as the first time Undertaker and Lesnar team up, with the possibility in the background of them facing off in the SummerSlam main event if Taker retains at Vengeance on Sunday, seeing the Lesnar and Taker vs. Flair and Van Dam tag match going 10 minutes to peak in the 7-minute overrun with a joint show high 4.4 rating with slightly less viewers than the peak for the Bischoff debut promo at the 6.3 million viewers range. The first ever WWE Raw 2 days after the company officially announced the name change, saw Raw starting the new era by continuing its strong streak since the draft, with the first hour remaining above the 6 million viewers range, and with the show coming days after the news of Bill Goldberg reaching a settlement to get out of his WCW contract, peaking in the final quarter with the WWF's attempt to create its own version with Lesnar's match, which saw the Hartford crowd starting several Goldberg chants throughout, doing an hour-high 4.5 rating. After holding up stronger than expected against heavier competition in the fall TV season on network television, November 7 saw SmackDown with 6.2 million total viewers, drawing its biggest audience in 7 months on the back of the show already unexplainably kicking off at the 6 million viewers range, promoting a double main event of Angle and Benoit vs. Edge and Mysterio for the tag titles along with Lesnar vs. Eddie, but with the show again as it did in the past 2 weeks, peaking at the 8:45 p.m. quarter for the Big Show Lesnar promo segment, with Show's career resurgence continuing to drive SmackDown's most watched segment of the night in every week since debuting on the brand, with over 6.6 million viewers, with the 7-minute Lesnar vs. Guerrero main event followed by another Brock Big Show angle closing the most watched SmackDown under the WWE name at over 6.1 million viewers. A week after the season premiere, driven by the Billy and Chuck segment bumped SmackDown to its biggest audience in 5 months, September 19, with the company looking to build or at least maintain the larger-than-usual viewership, built to a loaded-up final 30 minutes with the top match and segment of the night going back-to-back. First with Gunn and Palumbo after drawing the massive number for the wedding segment facing Angle and Benoit in a match going 7 minutes over the final 2 quarters, followed immediately by the show-closing angle of Undertaker after almost 2 hours of build-up for his arrival, showing up at 9:51 p.m. to call out Lesnar to the ring, setting up a Taker vs. Lesnar preview brawl to the Unforgiven pay-per-view on Sunday to see SmackDown keeping the momentum going with the final quarter for a combination of the second half of Angle and Benoit vs. Billy and Chuck, along with the Taker-Lesnar segment peaking with over 6.6 million viewers. With the company looking to build back its audience on more soap opera storytelling following Raw last Monday going off the air with the Kane Triple H reveal cliffhanger, the SmackDown version 3 days later saw Lesnar and Heyman opening the second hour by introducing Tracy, calling out Undertaker to add another personal twist to the No Mercy title match, bringing out Taker for the confrontation over the top of the hour quarter, maintaining over 6.2 million viewers. Followed by Stephanie setting up the main event over an hour into the show with Brock booked in a tag titles tournament match against Edge and Mysterio on short notice, seeing the impromptu Mysterio and Edge vs. Lesnar and Tajiri main event tag match going 7 minutes in the final quarter to the peak audience of the night with 6.7 million viewers, with SmackDown overall continuing the show's strong streak to remain above the 6 million viewers range for the third straight week. After delivering a strong pay-per-view headliner in one of the bloodiest matches in company history to blow off the feud, the Hell in a Cell follow-up segment on October 24 saw Undertaker coming out seconds from 9 p.m. immediately calling out Brock to the ring for their final confrontation, after putting him over clean at the pay-per-view, also giving Lesnar the promo endorsement to start his babyface turn, setting up the major injury angle to write Taker off television for the rest of the year, with new SmackDown performer Big Show positioned back as a main event player, throwing him off the stage to put the heat on Show as the next title challenger, with the Taker-Lesnar Show segment going over the 9 to 9:15 p.m. quarter, leading to a unique viewing pattern rarely seen in SmackDown history, with the segment jumping big to peak at over 6.7 million viewers at the top of the hour in a significant viewership gap above any other segment on the night. 24 hours after going over Angle and Taker to win the title in a greatest three-way match in history contender at the Vengeance pay-per-view, new undisputed champion Rock came out at 9:54 p.m. for his title win follow-up segment to start his record 7th reign, with him targeted to appear and boost numbers on both brands heading into the SummerSlam pay-per-view, interrupted by Eddie Guerrero to close the hour, with Eddie in his first back-and-forth segment with Rock setting up a memorable promo exchange with Rock and Eddie exchanging shots to end with Eddie challenging Rock for the first ever Rock vs. Guerrero singles match for the main event, seeing the segment, despite only crossing 6 minutes past 10 p.m., jumping over a million viewers to peak the night with a 4.8 rating and over 6.7 million viewers, followed immediately by Brock Lesnar coming out for his scheduled match, with him strategically placed to follow Rock without going to a commercial break in the middle, in an unusual formatting to give Lesnar the maximum exposure in front of the biggest audience of his career to date, with the massive lead-in viewership expected for Rock's title win promo, going with a similar formula just an hour later, with Rock vs. Eddie going 9 minutes into the overrun to close the show with a 4.6 rating and over 6.6 million viewers, driving the overall Raw broadcast on the back of the two massive Rock-Eddie quarters to a 3-month high viewership, with the show going off the air with Brock again placed to follow Rock, with the first Rock-Lesnar in-ring confrontation kicking off the SummerSlam build-up, followed by the show closing angle of Brock jumping to SmackDown. 3 days to SummerSlam, with the company looking to close the build-up strong heading into the loaded pay-per-view on Sunday, kicking off with Lesnar and Heyman coming out for the final selling promo, with Heyman after the entire build-up saw Rock and Brock being completely kept apart for over a month, finally hyping the first Lesnar-Rock collision to take place later tonight, bringing out Rock for the response, with the Rock-Lesnar-Heyman segment in the first quarter opening big with over 5.1 million viewers, the biggest audience to watch an opening segment on either Raw or SmackDown in nearly 3 months, starting a show-long angle on the way to a Rock and Edge vs Benoit and Eddie main event, along with the promoted first Rock-Lesnar clash, with the tag match going 12 minutes over the full final quarter, seeing Rock and Edge going over, followed by the big moment coming at 9:58 p.m. with Rock and Lesnar finally going face-to-face in the ring in the final, selling angle to the SummerSlam headliner, driving SmackDown, which drew the biggest audience for a WWE broadcast in 3 months with 5.9 million viewers, to peak big in the final quarter, featuring the Rock and Edge vs Benoit and Guerrero tag match, along with the hyped Rock-Lesnar confrontation, drawing a 4.3 rating with over 7.1 million viewers to close the build-up with strong momentum to Sunday.